And go.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Addicted to the Q. I'm Brian. You know me as the Sofa King Awesome Barbecue Rub Guy. We've got Brad meets my mistress. The bum is actually on a work trip. Today, our special guest is Pat with Rudes BBQ. Fellow bum squad member, if I'm right.
Yes.
Yes. Yep. Well, let's just jump straight into the first question. How did you hear about Bum?
Trying to think. I met him and then started trying his stuff. And I'm trying to think when I met him. It was, you know what it was? It was not this year, but the year before at the Backyard Royal.
Oh, down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was doing steak, and he was also selling his burritos.
Yep.
His breakfast burritos, but he wasn't selling them this year. I was a little upset at that. I'm pretty sure I let him know that, it's great to see you, but where's the burritos, man?
We were all upset about that.
Even my buddy's like, my buddy lives out there, and he's like, is the burrito guy going to be out there? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't think he's making them, but he's going to be out there.
He was thinking about it. And in case anyone wonders who we're talking about, the bum, it's Kevin Hesse with Weekend Bum Barbecue. He was contemplating it, but his work schedule and all wasn't really allowing him. And man, I was like, you can put me down for like 3 burritos.
Right. The crazy part of his work schedule, he travels out to Illinois, and he's probably 15 minutes from the house.
Yeah.
So when it's always, our schedules never make sense to try. And then once you have kids, like going out past like 8 o'clock is crazy. So that's like the 8 o'clock's the new midnight. So,
So where do you live in Illinois?
I live in Joliet. You know where that is? It's like 45 minutes southwest of Chicago.
Okay.
I was in, what town was I in? We went almost to the Indiana border and then went north about another hour on I-70. That's where I got my trailer from.
Oh, like Elkhart or what else is over there? Something like that. I know there's a bunch of trailer manufacturers over that way.
Well, I bought it off a guy that already had it. It was a barbecue guy.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah, since the tornado took its last one, we decided to go bye-bye, which was the bum's old trailer.
It was the bum's old. Westville, Illinois was the name of it.
Was that just recently? Didn't you get his trailer this year? Was that right? Or
I bought it at the end of October or middle of October. Yeah. I cooked it twice. A tornado hit in April, and the insurance is like, can we get a picture? I'm like, well, I can give you the before picture and a picture of the frame because that's all I have.
I can give you before and after.
We've never found the top part of the trailer itself.
No way. Wow. I didn't even know that. That's crazy. That sucks.
But
it's great that the insurance will pay you for it, but you got to go and fix all the crap that you did yourself. Like I'd be crying. I was doing that this whole year. I bought a trailer, and beginning of the year, that's all it was. I just basically, the trailer was out in my driveway for like 2 months, and I just lived out there like with whatever project I was doing. I knew I had a deadline coming up of getting it ready before camp. So
well, Brad had to deal with what
was it? Smoke on the Shores. I had to get everything ready before Smoke on the Shores.
Yeah. Well, you were at Backyard Royal, weren't you? Did you have the trailer there, or was that an old one? I did. Yep. So that was the Smoke on the Shores, and then the Backyard Royal, and then I think it was like Kicking It on Route 66 that I just left my trailer out there. They were nice enough to, after the Royal, I just swung down there and dropped it off and drove back to Illinois. And it's so much nicer to just jump in the truck and do 80 miles an hour, nothing behind you. Yeah. Was Route 66, was that a monsoon rain out there while you left it, or what'd you leave it for?
Just because he was already.
So just I didn't have to tow it. I was out there. It was on my way home, kind of on my way home. It was out of my way, but not that far out of the way. And the guy at the organizer's like, yeah, you can park it right here. I was asking if he had a spot because I knew he was looking for people. He's like, yeah, you can park right next to our maintenance building, which happened to be right next to the field that we were competing in. So I looked kind of weird when I got there. I just had to go hook up and then drive like a couple hundred yards to my spot.
So
that's hilarious.
but,
that's awesome.
It's so much nicer. Yeah. What's that?
Should have asked them to move it for you. Can you have it in my spot when I get there?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would have been nice. So I'll probably try and do the same thing this year, going to BBQ and then the Royal the week after.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out with some Kansas City people who knows where I can park a trailer for a few days.
Got bum sponsor, Weekend Bum sponsors Sunflower Toe, and that's where.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Bum stores his trailer down there. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You get a hold of them, and they might charge you a little, or I don't know how any of that would work out, but it's a shot.
Do you guys keep losing me on the picture? I don't know if that's my internet or I keep seeing my picture disappear.
That's probably your internet.
That's probably your. You're doing just fine on our end.
Yeah. All right.
So, what got you into barbecue and competing?
Well, so one of my buddies, I was in dealerships and sold cars, and then started running dealerships and was a manager and all that fun stuff. And my buddy and I, to kill time during the day, he had a big green egg and kind of got me into the smoking. And I didn't know I had no idea. And decided that he kind of walked me through some stuff, and then it was all downhill after that. And it was actually after he passed away that I entered my first competition. I'm like, well, I'm doing it. And I still, that's the one I just was at the 4th year of the Morris, the rhythm and blues.
How did you do on that one just now or just last weekend?
I actually GC'd that one again 2 years in a row. Nice. So that's I keep my streak alive of every year I've gone there, I've gotten a trophy. So it's fun, and it's only 20 minutes from the house. But
that's a special one. It's your first one anyway.
Oh yeah, it brings back those memories of like you get there and you set up and you're like, "Who? Everybody else is starting their smokers. Should I start my smoker? Is it time? Should I be doing something?" Like, this guy's doing that. You have no idea. And they're like, well, I had my time limit. I worked it out before I really have to do anything yet. So, but it does give me a laugh when I go back there of what it is. It's one of my favorite competitions. Just they do an awesome job getting it all set up and that stuff. And everything's always on time. Everything's set up. Greg Redford is the questions, do whatever he needs. So, but good guy. Keeps growing every year. I think there are 36 teams there this year.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Pretty cool thing. Were you at, not this past year, but the year before, were you at the KCBS Invitational?
I was this year and last year. Yeah. Yep. So the last 2 years I was. Yep. It rains every time I go there.
I knew I've seen you before, and that's why I was like, maybe that's where I saw him at.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was in my renting trailer days. I rented a bunch of different sizes to try and figure out what size I really wanted, because I really had no idea. I was trying all kinds of different sizes. Ended up with a 7 by 18.
I just went from a 10 to a 14. That extra 4 foot's a little nice.
Oh yeah. And did you get the? Hopefully, I got the 7 foot interior. I figured that out real quick when I was walking in those short ones. I was like, what the hell? I only got a couple inches above me.
To stand up, yes. This one's a little taller than the last one. The one the boat had, though, was perfect. Literally, I had like an 1.5 inch, 2 inch clearance above my head. It worked out good for me, but I'm not a very tall guy. I'm only about 5'10", 5'11", so.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's me too. Same size.
Do you cook any masters, or do you stay mainly backyard?
I'll play around and do the masters. I do. I did the open when we were at the Invitational, which is it's a good reality check. And it's always funny. I tell my wife, I'm like, I'm happy with the scores I got. I'm like, if I went to a normal competition, I'd be in the top 10, easily. But it's everybody there is just cooking their ass off, and it's and you're going up against like every big name that's out there, and you got to be perfect. I did Minnesota in May this year, and I would say I got my ass kicked, and that was like the warm up for the Open, and nothing. I liked all my stuff, but the 6 other people didn't like my stuff, which happens. It's all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did better at the. I'm sure I did better. My scores were better at the Open than they were in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And then I'll do. We're going to do the Royal for the first time this year.
Oh, you are? Nice. Yeah, we'll be out there. I think, Brad, you're going to go out there, aren't you?
What's that?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so we were going to go last year, but then my mom was going to watch the kids, and then ended up she was going to have supposed to have either knee or back or hips or some kind of hip joint surgery, and thank God she didn't have to have it, but we canceled it because that was right around the time that she would have been recovering and watching 2 kids. Good luck with that. So,
well, for both you guys,
that's a long time to leave kids.
It is. It is.
I'm fine.
Both of you guys doing the Royal, make sure you have someone that is a fast walker.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've heard that. Just got to leave early. It's I can imagine. I've been to racetracks, and I know how big the infield is for a racetrack. But my wife wanted to know. She runs the boxes, and she was laughing because when we go to the Smoke on the Shores and in the Invitational, we rent a golf cart. And she's like, "Can we get a golf cart?" I'm like, "No, there's like 500 teams. Could you fathom having all those golf carts out there?" Yeah.
People would get killed.
Oh yeah, it'd be T-boned and the whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's teams
especially
that
add alcohol Friday night.
Oh yeah. No.
There's teams that have blockers, like extra people for blockers.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's fun. I mean, I'll be out there Thursday. I'll be out there Friday, and then I'll spend the night out there Saturday night.
Okay.
Sunday. But yeah, it's a blast.
Yeah, we're gonna get out there on Thursday as well. So we'll be out Thursday set up, and then I got a hotel like right outside. I'm like, I could stay in the trailer, but I'm not all those days. So
yeah, that's what Kevin does. He just stays in the hotel. I think Friday night.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But no, it's like Brad going out there. I hope Brad does it this year. It's just so fun. I know Brad goes out there. I mean, we interview people out there, but
sure,
it's fun.
Yeah, and that's just another one. You got to be perfect, but you go in knowing that I can't beat QU and win both the same year. So.
Yeah.
Hey, just a top 20.
I would just take one square trophy.
If I hear my name, I'll be happy, and no matter what, I would. Yeah.
Square trophy, a ribbon, I'd be happy.
Yeah, I don't care what it is. Yeah, if put it this way, if you hear, you'll hear the yell. So.
Yeah, no,
it'll be a fun time.
The square trophy is a legacy. A ribbon is just like, I did what against who? It's awesome out there.
Oh yeah.
Says the guy that's been on the stage.
Who, me? No.
Yes, you.
No.
I believe I saw your bald head up there with Bum that time.
What? Like with the square trophy? What are you talking about? 2021 World Port?
Exactly.
No way.
Yeah.
That was so fun. Yeah. That was awesome.
Well, he keeps that trophy in his kitchen just right on the edge when he takes pictures. You can just barely see it.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like the Stanley Cup.
I joked with my wife.
It is. Yes. It is. I'm going
I told my wife one time, I said, if I ever win a square trophy.
It's going on your headboard?
I told her that if I win a square trophy, where's she going to sleep for the next week? Because that trophy's going in the bed with me. I'm not even going to lie.
It's going on your headboard. Permanent. You're going to screw it into the headboard. No, I like doing the sides on Saturday.
Yeah. I got to figure out like what the heck to do for sides. So yeah, that'll be I start, eventually start practicing and doing something.
Yeah.
I got to dream up what I want to do, and I got to get registered. I got to send in my stuff. So,
Yeah.
but one thing at a time.
I'm pork and turkey is probably all I'm going to do. I'm not going to mess with sides on Saturday, probably.
Yeah.
You're going to do what? Say it again.
I'm probably not going to. I'm going to pull like the bone does. I'm not going to mess with sides. I'm probably just going to do the 4 meats and turkey and sausage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, we like the sides.
I don't eat veggies, so it's.
Yeah, there's a guy.
I don't eat veggies, so I'm not gonna.
Guy behind Bum.
What's that?
Danny, the guy behind Bum, Crooked Q.
Yeah.
He doesn't do all of them, so he's like, "Come do some of mine." So he runs dessert, and I'll run some of the others, just because it's fun for me. I love all those weird categories. Like I'm trying to get Brad down to one in this August. Last couple years they do a couple different side categories. They're like, well, we don't know what we're going to do besides dessert. And I was like, why don't you do like a chopped episode, do a surprise box. So this year they're doing a surprise box they're giving you on Friday. I'm like, yes,
that's awesome. I'd love to do that. I've been talking about that for years. I was like, I would love to just show up at a comp and they just, like on TV, they open up the cooler and be like, here, this is what you got. Good luck.
I'm bringing some extra stuff like a lemon, lime, avocado, some dressings. But I'm excited because I'm like, it's not chicken wings, it's not chili, it's not sausage.
Right.
Like, yes, finally something that I don't need to worry and prep about. This is something I can go and just use my style of brain, my creative stuff that I love to do.
Yeah. No, I love for it just to be some protein and be like, here, cook this.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, there's a million different things out there. Yeah. Like I almost want to be like, I got to Google something right now just to figure out like what I'm going to, where do I start? Like that crazy of what it is.
Knowing my luck, it'll be mountain oysters. And if Brad shows up, he's going to win it because he's had those bore. I'm like,
ding, ding, ding.
I don't know what to do.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
Fry.
I lived in Colorado long enough to know that I don't want to order them. So
I didn't know what I was eating until after I ate them, and then by the time I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. No, I do a thing on it's a Facebook, Instagram group or something, and they do a 3-ingredient challenge that changes every week, and every once in a while I'll get in on that depending on my time. And I'm like, this is a little more chefy than I'm used to. Like it'll be random. Like we have a wheel of stuff they choose sometimes and then that. My biggest thing is trying to get creative enough to think of something to cook.
Yeah.
The weeks Brad doesn't do it is when it pops up corn, lettuce, cucumber.
Hey, you're not wrong. I mean, there was one that was something pickled. And if anybody knows me, I can't stand pickles or anything pickled. Well, I found pickled garlic, and that wasn't that bad.
Gotcha.
Why didn't you just put like your chicken thighs in pickled juice as a
there you go.
No, I don't.
They don't taste like pickle.
I hate pickle juice. I hate pickle juice. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Isn't that the Nashville hot chicken? They grind them in the pickle juice first.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Brad. I don't know what to do with you.
Nope.
Non-vegetable.
I can pick off a lot of stuff, but pickles is one thing I will not pick off a sandwich because no matter how much you pick it off, you still have that flavor in there.
Oh, man,
I always joke.
Yeah, I'm a pickle fan.
If anybody wants to know what to make, if a 5-year-old eat it, I probably will. But
I'll tell you what, we'll go out, we'll get cheeseburgers. I'll pick your pickles off, and since the pickle juice is on the meat, I'll take the meat and cheese also and just give you the bun.
And only the bottom portion of the bun because the top I got the pickle on it too. So
I'll
get the bottom.
Like the opposite of a keto diet, just give me the bread.
We're out on the East Coast. I was visiting a family years ago, and we went and played golf. And I don't even know it was my wife's cousin, and we were at a bar afterwards, and he ordered it was a pickled hard-boiled egg. He's like, "You want one?" I'm like, "No, God, I don't even want to sit next to you. Get that away from me." and it just didn't look good at all. I was like, no, I don't want to, Yeah. But he's like, no, and he goes, there's a bunch of different pickled stuff at this place. It was, I don't even know what the rest was, but it was 4, 5, 6 jars of pickled whatever.
Yeah. I know some restaurants that use the pickled hard-boiled egg in their potato salad so they don't have to chop up pickles.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. It is.
Well, guys, why would you put pickles in potato salad?
I've got a jet so I can go get my kids. Brad, I'm going to leave this to you.
All right.
Pat, it was great seeing you. I will see you at the Royal for sure with the bum, and I'm telling you right now, the bum better get me another golf cart this year since he's the international team's ambassador. We drive around Thursday, and I'm like, I'm not walking. I'm going to sit at your campsite.
But I'll call him for a ride when I'm out there.
With kids.
You should get a golf cart too then, Brad. It's so fun. It's so fun.
No, I'm just the peon. Yep.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, I'll see you out there.
I actually got yelled at. Got yelled at the Royal last year. I got yelled at the Royal last year helping with Kids Q because they were using those charcoal gun things and they were running behind. There was an extra gun sitting there, so I went to grab one and they're like, "No, you can't use it." I'm like, "I light fires all the time. You're not licensed and insured." I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's lighting a charcoal for a kid weapon grill.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But you get free food and hospitality. You get free food and hospitality and parking for helping. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
So what do you cook on?
I have, so the first one, I started off with 2 Vision grills, and I built a table, and these big ass ceramic grills, and I was carting that around, and it was basically, I'm like, this sucks, and they're going to break, and it's just a matter of time. So I switched out, and I built a ugly drum out of just a regular old 55-gallon drum that I still have. That's I bought a kit from, it was a UDS store or something like that. And then I started looking at everybody else's stuff, and I saw the Hunsacker stuff. So now I bought two of the kits from Mark, and those are the main grills that I use. And I'll switch if I need the third. If I'm doing a Masters, I'll bring the other one. But for the most part, it's just the 2 ones that I built from the Hunsacker kit. I love the way they run. And what's that?
Yeah. Those Hunsacker, they run like, you can't, once you get them dialed in, you can't hardly beat them. You don't even have to make any adjustments to them.
Yeah, and I even have, I went a step farther and I have the temperature controllers, the Gurus, and put those on there too. And it's, so they'll hold temperature perfect, but a lot of times I'm cooking by myself. So I want that added layer of security that I know if I'm inside doing something that they're rolling at 300 and not stopping. But I've seasoned them, and I'll leave them at 350 I'll go back and check like every hour or so. Then they haven't moved off of 350. So it's, but just that extra level of, I worry that I'm going to come out and they're, be at 400 or something. So
cooking extra hot and fast.
Oh yeah. So every once in a while, there's a time for that. You get a little bit behind, and you got to crank it up.
Oh yeah. So not comp related. What is your favorite meat to cook? It doesn't have to be in competition. It could just be for the house.
Gotcha. It's just the quick stuff. That's like what I miss. Like I miss just grilling a steak or the burgers. We got the pool out back, so it's probably one of my favorite things is like brats and burgers, really, because we got everybody over, and that so everybody's hanging at the pool, and it's like, hey, we'll throw some burgers on, we'll throw some brats on, and everybody's happy, and then I'm not standing there for 5 hours doing something. I'm done in no time, and get to keep hanging out with everybody. But it's usually revolves around a party, so that's my enjoyment, I guess, for non-comp stuff.
I'm trying to think. Joliet sounds really familiar. Is that where the Caterpillar
or what? There is a Caterpillar. I don't even know if it's still open, but yes, there's a Caterpillar plant that's here. I just don't know if it's operational. There's one here. There's one in Aurora. The Blues Brothers are from Joliet. How about that?
Maybe
that was the prison when they picked him up in the beginning of the movie. And they actually still have they go out and do Dan Aykroyd and one of the Belushis go out and do a concert there every year in the prison. They have and the public can go. I had never gone, but I toured the prison, which is crazy that it's what it is. I'm claustrophobic, and I was looking at the cells like, oh my God, I could never be in here. So
I lived in Marion for 4 years, and I think there's a maximum security prison right outside of there that they wrote like movies about. But no, I was the opposite end of the state as you. You're way more north than I was, but you're in the area with Stone Cold Grillers and Weeze.
Weeze was my. I had no idea who this dude was, and we were it was my second comp, which was in Fairbury, Smoke on the Midway. So I'm out there. They put us in. It was me and my dad out there, and we're set up, and it started pouring and pouring. Well, Weeze had his window open in his car, so my dad's like, "Hey, man, your window's open," and all of a sudden we got in Weeze's good graces because his car didn't flood out, but and I mean it was raining to the point the roads were flooding. There was a river going through our site. It was crazy. But then Weeze is like giving us food. He's like, "Here, try this," and he's trying my stuff and gave me some good criticism. And I'm trying his. I'm like, "Oh, this is good." Well, then he ends up first place chicken, first place ribs, first place overall. Like that's how it's supposed to taste. So, like I guess this dude knows what he's doing. So, and then I told him, what's that?
Well, he won Team of the Year last year, but man, he was on a hot streak, especially in ribs for the most of last year. He could not. He was just destroying every contest he was at.
It's fun. I love competing against him because I mean he's a great guy, and he'll But I told him, I said, "Yeah, I want to beat you because I mean when you're Team of the Year, of course I want to beat the best out there." So I'm like I'm always going after him, and if you're there and his name gets called before yours, I still high five him and everything. I want him to win, but of course I want to beat the best. So, and it's kind of fun having those competitors around. Scott, we just saw Scotty was out at Morris, so with Stone Cold, which was nice. Hadn't seen him in a while. He hasn't been competing. He's been helping Weeze in his catering stuff. So we got to see him, and he actually won Best Dish again. I think he won it 2 years in a row. So
I met him in Mayetta, not last when the one and only year was in Mayetta before it was in Tennessee, the Invitational.
Oh yeah,
across the road from.
I think
that was
ribs that year.
The contest in August. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
That contest in August was miserable. It was like 110 degrees in Kansas when we were trying to set up. Hello? You froze? You go dead?
Oh, there I am.
Yeah.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, you went froze for a little bit. I can edit that out.
Oh, what's up with my internet here?
Well, if you're like me, I'm in the middle of the boonies. Our internet was a lot better until a tornado went through, and now for some reason it's not as good.
Yeah. Oh, we have good internet. It's just, I don't know what the hell.
So do you have much good barbecue places to eat in where you're at in your neck of the woods? We
got a couple. We do. It's funny. My boss was in town, and he's from Kansas City, and I took him to a barbecue place out here. Like, here, you can try this one. So, and it's a good place. I mean, And he even asked me, he's like, do you critique when you go there? I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to go to a garbage place, but I understand they're not cooking the same as what we're cooking. It's completely different, you know. But I'll look for the places with consistency, you know, that, you know, I know that I can go certain places and get good ribs or get a good brisket or get whatever it is. And for the most part, it's always on point. But, you know, you go to some places and you order brisket, like, what the hell happened? So, you know, it's like, all right, I'm going to stop going to those places. But there are a few, yeah. So
my thing with brisket is if it's cut the wrong way, that's just completely like I know it's going to be downhill from there.
Yeah,
we were on that's strike one.
I was on a cruise and they were making these sandwiches and they were cutting whatever cut of beef it was, you know, just like they had a big carving station and they were cutting it the wrong way. And so I'm in line and I told the guy, I'm like, will you turn that the other way and cut it? Guy's looking at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, just you're going with it, not against it. I'm like, can you go against? And I had to he's like turning it. He's like, right here. And I'm like, yeah, right there. Cut that. And I'm like, just do that. It'll be more tender. And people behind me are laughing. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, trust me, I helped you out. So
we're not going to have beef jerky.
Exactly. No, I can't stand when that you see it happen and you're like, oh, stop.
Oh, that's what I forgot where it was that I had that, and it didn't get any better once it was cut the wrong way. If you're like me, I've turned my family into barbecue snobs when it comes to barbecue.
Yeah. I mean, I like a few years ago we went on down to Texas and we were kind of riding around and we went to Austin for a while. We had all these, my in-laws had a bunch of timeshare points and they're like, just use all these. And it was during COVID. We're like, all right. So I think we were in Austin for like 10 days trying out different stuff. And that was when you couldn't go to Franklin. So I never got to experience the line, but you had to order like 6 weeks ahead. So 6 weeks ahead, I order all this food. And I was hungry that day. So all of a sudden we roll up there and my wife's like, what did you order? Like I got like all of it. And, but yeah, that was awesome. And the Terry Black's was open, which was a cool place. And, that was when I was peeking in. They said you could have a tour of the smokehouse. So I'm peeking in the smokehouse that's out in the parking lot. And it was hard to see through there until this guy comes. He's like, hey, come on in. And he was like, he was right in front of me and I couldn't see him. But then he gave me the tour and they were cooking on 3,000-gallon offsets. And they were full. It was full, front to back. He's like, I cooked the briskets and the beef ribs. I'm like, Jesus. And all three of them were full. And
that's how Franklin's was because we went.
Yeah.
And then we got a tour of the. I got a tour of the smoke room, and God, it was hot in there. It was. I don't know how you guys do it all the time.
So it's hot enough in Texas to start with.
It was simple. Like they didn't throw everything but the kitchen sink at it. They just throw it on there, put some salt and pepper or whatever on it, and just let the smoke. And it was probably some of the best brisket I've had in my life.
Oh yeah. That's at Terry Black's. He told me it's salt, pepper, garlic, and a little bit of love. And that's what he said. I'm like, okay. I'm like, whatever you're doing right. And their ribs do have more of there's something else in it. I don't know what sauce or whatever that made them a little more of not sweet, but a little bit of that flavor that it wasn't just because I asked him about it and he kind of smiled and looked at me and said, I don't cook those are inside. So I called whatever it was, but he was just like, no, not going to tell you. I'm like, all right, whatever.
That was the one thing I did not like at Franklin's was the pork ribs because they were too much of the Texas flavor profile for me for ribs. It was kind of weird, but
the
turkey was really good. The sausage we sampled everything.
Yeah. That's it. At Terry Black's, that's we stop in and they're cutting it right in front of me. And as soon as I got up there, he's like, hey, here's some burnt ends. Have these like while you're deciding. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I like this place. And then we had a bunch of,
if you insist.
Yeah, sure. And then it's like, we were like, oh, that's what we need, a turkey. We're like, it's a turkey for the kids. And he just put like one slice on there and weighed it and put the sticker and then just cut a bunch more. And he's like, here's for the kids. Okay. Like, thanks, man. So, but that was an awesome place. All those places down there are good. So it was a blast. I didn't get to go to Snow's. So I got to go back there. Yeah, I was talking to Weeze about that, and he's like, I know a guy. I'm like, of course you do. I'm like, you know someone like everywhere. So it's I'm like, you gotta hook up with this good stuff. Yeah. So.
Though he almost got me shot the night of Friday night of the Royal last year because I passed out. I was staying there, and I'm like, I need somewhere to stay because I don't really want to sleep in my truck in the parking lot. That's kind of sketchy. He's like, well, my SUV's on the infield. Just recline the seat and go to bed. All right. So I started doing that Friday night. And I wake up, and Josh DeWitt is, like, staring at the window, like, looking through it because he said he kind of saw a light come on. So he came over there and investigate.
That's awesome.
He knew it was me because I might have gotten shot. And
that's what you're doing in there. I'm looking for some JDQ. Or Wee's got a bunch.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just trying to sleep. He's like, okay, I know who you are now. He's like, I didn't know if it was some weird drunk guy trying to get in his vehicle or. So, yeah, that was the highlight.
That's awesome.
I'd never been to the Royal on a Friday night. That was quite the adventure.
I've heard it's an experience.
It is. I've been there a lot. I've judged it. God, I've judged the Royal 4 or 5 times probably. I've gotten to where I don't judge it anymore. It's just one of those. I've done it. That was actually my first. I got certified on Thursday, judged on the Open on Sunday. That was my first contest I ever judged, which was the Royal.
Gotcha.
You want to talk about an experience. But then I helped with Kids Q last year, and I'm like, I like a heck of a lot better just walking around, helping with stuff, and I'm going to try and compete on Sunday this year and just get the whole experience. But yeah. There's no shortage of alcohol, and I didn't spend a dime on it. It was parties everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. My buddy lives out there, and he's been out there. And it was funny. He's like, yeah, it's cool, but he goes, the barbecue competition, if you don't know anybody, is kind of stupid. And now he's gone to a bunch of them with me now, and he's like, it's so much better. You know somebody that you could actually cheer for. He goes, they call these names, you don't know anybody, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. So
I always describe the Royal. It's weird because it's like a party / family reunion that, as an afterthought, there's a barbecue contest on Sunday. Like
right.
If you wouldn't, especially they canceled it during COVID, and everyone's like, "What? Why'd they cancel? They can still have the contest." And everybody's like, "Well, because of the money they get from the crowd." And I was like, "Ain't that?" But then if you see it on Friday night, the amount of people that go through that gate, that's why they canceled it.
Right.
It's quite the experience. So I'm looking forward to
I don't know how much it is for like a regular person to get in there.
$20, I think it is.
Got it.
If you don't have a wristband, I mean, it's not god awful to go party for the night on Friday night.
No.
So, but a lot of like the UMB Bank and a lot of the Kansas City companies have corporate parties, so everybody comes in there and they have a huge spot and they big old parties.
Nice.
But yes, it does definitely help a lot whenever you know people for sure there.
Oh yeah,
just
right.
Especially when you're there for that long, it's a great time. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So you talk about your kids. Do you bring them to competitions? Are they almost to the Kids Q ages yet?
Yeah, my daughter has done one. She liked it, not as much. But my son, he just did. He did one last year up at in Wisconsin at Bringing Home the Bacon, and he did it again this year. And he got second the first year and fourth this last year. And it's fun. Like he popped out of his chair when they called his name, and he was up to get his medal before my legs were thinking about getting to stand up. So he was like already running back when I got up to congratulate him. So, but that's the kids. That's the awesome part about it. So, to see that look and how pumped he was. And the first year he I don't know what, he was not paying attention. And he's like, I thought I wasn't getting anything because they didn't call his name for so long. I'm like, no, that's how it works. So, like, it's better if it's, you wait and wait and wait. So,
I think he got second place to Machete Boy's daughter that was doing it.
Oh yes.
So I think she beat him out that year.
I always hate it because I was like I got first place chicken, which has got my invitational, and I had a weird feeling that day when I got that close. I knew I didn't bomb it enough to not get a top 5 call.
Uh-huh.
But because a lot of times it gets the second or third, I'm like, I don't think that's me.
Sure.
Like, come on, call it already if you're going to call it, because if you get too far down the line, that's probably not going to get called. But no. So, how many comps a year do you do usually?
This one I'll probably do 10 or 15-ish this year, I would say. Last year was about the same, so I do a bunch. I keep adding them on to enough that I hear that, did you just sign up for something else? Like, my wife knows if I take the calendar off the wall and I start writing something down, she's like, what did you sign up for? What do you got us into now? I'm like, no, I already told you about this one. I'm just putting it on the calendar. I told you I was going. I just actually signed up. That's my rule. I don't put it on the calendar until I send in my money, so I know that I sent it in. It's one of those things. So it's otherwise you forget, and you can't just write it. I forget if I sent it in. I got to ask her. She runs the bank where we bank, obviously. So it's easy to be like, hey, can you see if this check went through for this? And sometimes she's like, no, it hasn't. I'm like, damn it. And then I got a call. And because I'm like, I swear I sent that in. And they're like, oh, yeah, we just didn't cash it yet. So I'm like, oh, all right, good. So I'm in. So I learned my lesson, and just when it's after I mail the check, write it on the calendar. So it'd be nicer. We got to get the Venmo. We only have Zelle. So we need Venmo. Like, seems like everybody does Venmo and make my life easier. So.
Venmo is nice. I use it a lot with the barbecue sauce. That's probably one of my favorite way of doing it, is just because that way, like cash is, which I get cash from stores and stuff, but like whenever I work like 8 to 5 trying to get to a bank, sometimes is just, and this way you can hit the button and it just deposits it in your bank.
No, I hear you. So yeah, I haven't done banking in like 20 some years. My wife handles that forever. It was funny. She signed all my checks because I just give her the check from when my old job. She's like, don't they ever think your signature's weird? I'm like, no, it's the same. I'm like, what are you talking about? You've signed it for 10 years. Can't change it.
So it's my signature. It's the standard signature.
Yeah, exactly. So we finally got the one you could do on your phone with the check. Because when I was in the car dealerships, they never would have direct deposit. Now, since I've moved on, and I work for Cox Automotive now, so it's Kelly Blue Book and Auto Trader. I help the dealers advertise and do all that stuff, and finally have direct deposit. So after all these years, I don't have to take a picture of the check and upload it and all that crap.
So besides the Bum Squad, what other sponsors do you have?
Sure. My Tischler's Market, get all my meats from them. So it gives me a deal on all that stuff. So makes the going to the comps a lot easier. So, but he was Rick was my first sponsor there. And he sponsors Risky Brisket too. They live in town, or one town over. So yeah, he was familiar with it, knew everything, and we worked out a deal. And then let's see, the next one was Smokestack.
Oh yes,
I met Alan, I don't know, years back, and got hooked up on that with those guys, which is I think I'm the only one in Illinois. Everybody else is up north, except Furlongs. One of them lives in Kentucky, I think, still. So,
that's an interesting combination.
Oh yeah, the two brothers. I think it's Joey lives in Kentucky. I think so. It's been a minute, or the other way around, vice versa. Who knows? Whatever. They know where they live. So.
Alan Larimore is the first person I met at my first contest, and I got introduced to the rolling table at like 2:00 in the afternoon as I was trying to go to the bathroom.
I've made the mistake of
What's the rolling table?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, we'll show you. Okay. Well, that was fun. Let's do that again. Oh, let's do that again. Like, stop.
That contributed to the Friday night hangover from the Royal last year. It was all fun and games until I realized he has a tote for all the liquor he has. And I swear that man brings his own table too. And sometimes they're good and sometimes they're not.
Well, he had it, was it last year? Not this one, but the one before, the Bringing Home the Bacon. Mm-hmm. He had, it was a computer program that was the randomizer for what it was of what you were getting instead of, I'm like, oh, okay, we're getting high tech on this. So that was an interesting, so we did the roll-em table for a while, and then it was, my kid was playing with his kid, thank God, because we sat around and just BSing and having a couple beers, and then I'm like, it's 10:30. I'm like, I need to get my kid and get back to the trailer, and we had rented an RV or something. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, I got to get my kid too, and I'm like, all right, we got to find the kids because I do not want to go back and tell my wife that I can't find Luke, and you need to come out of the trailer at 10:30 when I'm supposed to be watching him. So luckily he was right on the other side of the trailer. The people were having a fire right next to us, so it worked out.
There is never a dull moment with him. That is for sure.
Yeah. I actually ran into, he was out at Chef Jay's in Kansas City. And so I was in there, I was out there for Ferg's class that I took a couple of years back.
Yep.
And it was the same year or same weekend as the awards. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, Helen, I'm like, what are you doing here? They just like we almost run into each other in the restaurant. So that was it was kind of funny, just random places to run into people. But that's an awesome place. Well, if I'm going out that way, I'm making a special trip to go. That's where I'm having lunch.
That's my list to try. I've never tried that place.
So here, my buddy, 2 years ago, we were going out to the Backyard Royal. My buddy's going with me, and I'm like, hey, man, you got to wake up. I'm like, be at my house at 5. He's like, 5? And we're leaving on Friday. And he's like, and how long does it take her? I'm like about 7 hours or so. And he's like, why are we getting there so early? I'm like, we're going to Chef Jay's, and they run out of stuff. I'm like, we got to get there. So, and he was laughing. He's like, on the way out there, he's like, what do I got at Chef Jay's? And I'm like, got to have the mac and cheese with the brisket on it. It's life-changing. And I'm like, that's just a little side dish they give you. And so he just went in and ordered the same thing. Whatever I ordered, he ordered the duplicate. And he's like, the mac and cheese was awesome. So I give those guys props. I wish I could recreate whatever they're doing with the mac and cheese. So I got to somehow just ask them for the recipe.
That's probably one of my favorite barbecue dishes, no matter where I go, is mac and cheese.
Oh God. And it's one of those, they got the noodles almost cooked and they dump them back in the water and then they strain it out and they're putting the cheese on right in front of you. And I'm like, oh God, thank you. And it's the brisket that you get on it is, when you ordered the brisket, they'll cut a little extra and just chop it up and throw it. It's like, it's not the stuff that, the part that fell apart earlier. They chop up a little bit and put the nice fresh stuff right on there. So they do an awesome job. One year they had the sausage here that'll make you hungry. The General Tso's sausage that they made, and oh my God, was that good! I would have went up. I tried to go up for another one, but the line was out the door, and I'm like, oh, never mind.
Nope.
They need like like a wine. Like I've already been there once. I just need one more thing, but I don't want to wait. Like I want to go back again, but so.
Well, that about concludes everything I've got. So thank you for coming on tonight. I'm glad sorry we had to reschedule a couple times.
It's all good. I hear you. It's all good. So, but yeah, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It was fun. Fun talk.
Problem. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. All right, my man. See you later.